Meet the director of new film Finlandia at OUTshine LGBTQ Film Festival. The Muxes of Mexico have long been a mystery to outsiders. These individuals defy the concepts of a binary gender and yet are accepted as part of the traditional culture of the Zapotec people. This year's spotlight film for the OUTshine LGBTQ Film Festival, Finlandia, explores this culture in a fantastic tale of romance and expression. Find out more with the director of Finlandia, Horacio Alcala. Watch this.
Well, up next, let's welcome writer-director Horacio Alcala. Horacio's new movie, Finlandia, a romance film, will be the centerpiece film for the OUTshine Film Festival, presented on October 21st at 7 p.m. at Savor Cinema in downtown Fort Lauderdale. Make sure that you stay for the after party to celebrate the film and the film festival. Finlandia belongs to the genre of magical realism. It has some elements of consistency with documentaries related to its genre. It focuses on the Muxes community, a group of Zapotec people who identify as third gender, and the journey of Marta, a young designer who comes to the region of Oaxaca in order to copy local clothing traditions and styles and bring them back to Europe. The film is romantic, not only in content, but through the vivid colors and cinematography that are offered by the director. Finlandia's content is current and effectual to the issues we are facing today in the LGBTQ community of 2021, and it is absolutely a must-see as the 2021 OUTshine Film Festival is being celebrated. Welcome, Horacio, to Queer News Tonight.
Welcome. I'm happy to be in Florida for my first time.
Yes, we're warm, but you're used to being warm. You live in Madrid, and welcome to South Florida, basically your first visit here to Fort Lauderdale. We always joke this is the gayest place on planet Earth.
We're going to see that. We're going to check
yes,
it.
Exactly. We're going to have some dinner. We're very happy that you're participating in the OUTshine Film Festival. It's one of America's best LGBTQ film festivals, and I'm looking forward. I'm going to see Finlandia as it debuts at the festival. Tell us a little bit about the film. It's a tougher concept of the idea of multiple genders through a native culture. So tell us a little about Finlandia.
Well, the film is a journey through the culture of my country, especially in Oaxaca. Let's say is my point of view of the Muxes, of how I see them. There is many aspects. We can talk about the Muxes, but it's going to take us a series of TV shows to do that. So this film talks about the process of a young kid who is becoming a Muxes and what he has to face to do so. A young Muxe that his father treats her very bad, just for being a Muxe, and an older Muxe that actually is like the mother or is the arms of the society and a column of the community. So the film is about culture. Let's say it's a LGBTQ plus issue too.
You're when you say your country, you're actually born in Mexico.
I was born in Mexico.
Yes.
I live in Spain.
Yes, and living in Madrid. Oaxaca is a beautiful city. I have been to Oaxaca and Mexico. Its colonial heritage. Many Americans, we go to the beach, Cancun, Acapulco, Playa del Carmen, but Cozumel, but we miss much of the colonial beauty of Mexico. You were influenced by Oaxaca, I imagine, for that reason.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I discovered the issue of the Muxes, because I didn't know about it, I got very interested. I thought these are stories that must be told, and I found the message of tolerance that the Muxes have for the world, and I decided to go on with this story. So the first step was to fly to Oaxaca. So I went there. We spent some weeks, some time with them, and then we developed the script after the stories we heard from them of things that really happened. Later on, we added or we invented the story of Marta, who really is sent to Oaxaca to steal their designs.
Gender is such a complicated, gender is a complicated issue. And I don't know if you've heard, but we've had Donald Trump in America. So it adds great complication to discussions about sexuality and gender. In this, for the Muxes, explain third gender to us, or this conceptual idea of what they are thinking or represent.
I'm going to explain it in a different way. Well, before the arrival of the Europeans or the Catholics to the Americas, some natives, they had 6 genders, depending on how they felt emotionally. When the Catholics arrived, they say, this cannot happen. You can only have 2 genders, men and women, which means a third gender. It's very difficult to explain in general, even for me or even for the Muxes, because we don't have guidelines that we can think on to describe. How can I really describe third gender? Let's say it's a state of mind. It has nothing to do with sexuality, but it's very related to your community and the acceptance, or how you move around in the community.
In this third gender thought in Oaxaca among the Muxes, how would their acceptance of what we understand as traditional LGBT, how would their acceptance of people who identified as gay or lesbian, would they understand that?
Yeah, they understand that. Is known. Of course, they hear that on TV. Of course, it's in the magazines. Of course, it's in the gossiping of the people. But I don't think they consider so close to it or into it. They have their own identity. There is not only Muxes in this place. Let's remind that Muxes are only located in Juchitán, in this town and small towns around, not all over Oaxaca and not all over Mexico. So they don't need to feel identified with the gay or lesbian or LGBTQ community, because they are like in a bubble, where in this bubble they have Muxes, but they have another gender too. Not only Muxes, those are the Jew, which is women attracted to women.
Well, Finlandia is going to debut at the OUTshine Film Festival this week as the Spotlight feature. Let's talk a little bit about what goes into the creation of Finlandia. One of the things that I think is super interesting about a niche film festival like OUTshine and LGBTQ filmmakers is over the course of the last nearly 2 years now, we had this little thing called pandemic and COVID-19. Tell us about what your experience of surviving this and trying to be a filmmaker and creating Finlandia, for example. What was that like to try to create an independent feature film and doing it in COVID-19?
Well, in terms of economic, it was a disaster. We had to stop the filming because the pandemic arrived. But during those 7 months that we stopped, let's say, when the world stopped, I had the time for myself to rethink the story, to review all what was filmed. And then when we get back to filming, I had a better idea of what to film to finish the movie. Let's say I really have the time to rethink everything. There was a good thing and a bad thing. Of course, for other friends or filmmakers who had the same situation, was not the same because they couldn't finish the film. Let's say it was difficult, but we were lucky we managed to do it.
Did you ever face a moment in the last year and a half, the last 2 years, in the face of what you had to do in Spain, especially? Your first hit wave was before ours in America. Did you ever go, I'm going to give up, I'm going to abandon this project?
No.
Never even thought about that?
Never even thought about it. Since I was a child, when I was 6, I got an HVS camera for weddings, and I was doing short films with my family, using my father and my sisters as actors. We lived in the countryside, and from that moment I decided that I was going to do films. So it has never arrived at the time. I knew it was a tough time, but it was just a matter of surviving and waiting for it.
So just holding on. And you were comfortable in just holding on in terms of...
Just holding on.
Yeah.
And waiting.
Better in Spain today, LGBT Americans here in South Florida. All of the surveys show that we are among the first people that are going to get back out in the world, gay, LGBT Americans, and Spain will be one of the first places that we look to because it's one of the top destinations for LGBT. Things improving in Spain. Would you encourage people to come?
Yes.
Yeah. And the vaccine is widely...
Well, I think by now 80% of the population in Spain is vaccinated.
Oh, excellent.
Since last Monday, we don't have to use the mask in the street, only in small and public places.
Venues, right.
Everything is working. We have the bars until 3 o'clock in the morning. Restaurants are open. You can sit up to 8 people in a terrace. And things are working on. Let's remember that Spain is part of the European Union, and the European Union is a big machine that is helping each other to work on.
Yeah. Well, I imagine you're going to be doing many film festivals.
Hope so. This is our second.
Yes.
This is our third festival and our first award.
Yes. Excellent. And I can't wait to see it this coming week at the OUTshine Film Festival. The film is Finlandia. And the great thing about this film and this spotlight feature is Horacio has come in from Madrid to introduce the film. So you not only get to watch this interesting new feature film,
we can talk about it after.
Exactly,
yes.
And you get to talk to the director about it. And I'm looking forward to it because I know many of the subjects here are highly interesting in terms of gender, but it's going to take some digestion to be able to ask even the right questions about the creation of this film. So we wish you all the luck with it. We're getting ready to show you some of our LGBT community. I know Madrid very, very well, lovely. And make sure, remember, if you can't attend the Spotlight Film feature of the OUTshine Film Festival in person, which is great, I've been to many of the films this year at OUTshine, you can see it digitally, and you can participate in the film digitally. So either way, in person or digital, but you for sure want to see Finlandia coming this week at the OUTshine Film Festival. Horacio Alcala, did I pronounce it right?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay. Welcome to Queer News Tonight, and a great week here in South Florida.
And see you on Thursday for the screening.
Thank you very much. LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Lara are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBT